Hey everyone, Mark and Joey here on a Wednesday morning, and Wednesday is golf always, but this week, the end of the golf season, the most important event of the year for sure. Very different for us. We're going to talk about the event first in this video. Then we're going to do our wagering show, which we were very successful last week. At least I was. 1, 4, and 5. Made you a fortune if you followed my picks last week. And we're going to do that again this week. However, we'll talk about our sports wagering show. It's a little quirky with this event, so we'll talk more about that. Let's talk about the event, though. We've been on Golf Channel all morning. It is the talk of the whole thing about, how do you get to the playoffs? What's most fair to the players, the guys that have been at the top all the way along? The number of points in the FedEx Cup compared to the number of points for majors. There's been a lot of discussion around that, so we're going to start with that. But I do want to mention our website, ultimatesportschannel.com. We would ask you to go there. All the places that we're heard are there. All our sponsors are there. We try not to load up with 2 minutes worth of commercials. We'd appreciate, though, if you went there and saw who our sponsors are, help them out as well.
Subscribe, follow, everything you can do.
All those things you do on social media as well. So let's get into it. Staggered start, Joey, going into this week with Thomas at the top at -10. There's been a lot of talk about how weird that's going to look on TV on a Thursday. What do we think? How does that matter, and how would we make it better?
Well, I think a couple things is, one, as we've talked about, most people probably don't tune in till Saturday, Sunday anyway, so I don't know if it'd be that big of a problem. People who do tune in Thursday, Cooch is the best analogy. It's like a 5-day tournament. Just assume like this could easily look like the leaderboard after one day. So don't think too much about it. Here's what you need to know. The winner of the tournament is going to win the Tour Championship. And I think we've overanalyzed it. We've done it. The Golf Channel's doing it. It's nothing to worry about. I mean, the winner's going to win. He wins both titles. In theory, it's actually way easier than before. We had all this math about if he finishes here, this guy has to finish here. So we kind of look forward to it. We've come up with other ideas, but overall, we think it's a good thing that on Sunday, on 18, someone's going to get the big celebration, the fist pump, the screams.
Well, they could be in the clubhouse if they happen to shoot well enough and win the tournament like they would any other week. But they'll be the winner.
I guess, yeah.
They will be the winner of the tournament.
When they get to go for the trophy ceremony, they're the only person. They're going to get the big check of $15 million. It won't be like last year, or actually 2 of the last 3 years, where someone's gone out there to get the Tour Championship trophy and someone's gone out to get the FedEx Cup. So,
well, Justin Rose might as well not even have won last year. Tiger's winning of the tournament was way bigger than anything.
I totally forgot he even won.
Yeah,
exactly. As far as I'm concerned,
which was too bad.
He didn't win, and unfortunately, he won a FedEx Cup that's supposed to be big on your resume, and it wasn't. And that ultimately made this change have to happen because they don't want what's supposed to be a big win taken away from someone bigger than you winning the regular tournament. So this is good. This is good. You're gonna get the 15. You're gonna get the check. You're gonna get the trophy. You're gonna be celebrated when they do the trophy ceremony.
Yeah.
One score, one winner. And they increased paychecks for every other position on the FedEx Cup, which also gives guys more opportunity to move up, get a bigger paycheck for their placement in the FedEx Cup standings at the year's end. So overall, I think it was a big win, and we'll see it play out though. But if you're a fan, just try to dumb it down for yourself and say, okay, don't get caught up in it. Hopefully, they don't talk about it too much.
I think once they get past Thursday, I don't think they will.
That's what I'm saying, though. I hope on Saturday, Sunday,
there'll be a leaderboard.
Nick Faldo, or it's Azinger actually this weekend, doesn't go, Tom's at 22 under. Remember, he started at 10. I hope they don't do that too much. Sometimes these commentators get stuck on stuff like that. Please, please, please keep it simple and dumb. They're at what they're at, and the winner's going to win both.
And I really believe that once we get past the first round, it'll be about who's winning the tournament based on the number of strokes. And it won't always be compensated by what Thomas had a lead, all this kind of stuff. I think it'll be over that. I do agree. However, we've been discussing this morning, because there's a lot of discussion around this whole points thing, about what playoffs look like in every other sport except golf. And what those playoffs look like is team against team. Team against team, and everyone. It doesn't matter where you finish the season. You do get an advantage of playing the lowest ranked team, but in fact, it's team versus team. So we're talking about the fact that we think the FedEx Cup should be actually challenged on a match play system where they're playing each other, and that's how they progress, which is what every other sport does. Now, we do recognize that within the game of golf, anybody can win one game any day. And other than football, that's the case. That's why they have 7-game series or 5-game series or whatever. But in baseball, they have a wild card, which is one game, just the way it is, right? So some format of playing against the guy and coming down to a final twosome playing for $15 million in the last day. We're thinking that might be a better system. Maybe a double elimination tournament so the best guy doesn't get knocked out the first time he loses, something like that. But going to match play.
Yeah, so we've, not match play. I like matches, but I like the stroke play format, but in match format. Stroke play golf in match format. And basically what I mean by that is I like the one-on-one scenario matches. I like the fact that you're going to have a match for $15 million. The U.S. Am has done it forever to get into the Masters.
Right.
They do match play. So something along those lines, we would like it. We don't know the exact numbers, how it would work, but I think something as far as Tiger and Phil played a match for $10 million. The amount of people who tune in to watch that, you could easily have a match for $15 million.
Yeah.
A mano, one-on-one, have it done. The reason why I say you should have it as stroke play is people are going to complain we play stroke play all year. All of a sudden it's match play. So I like stroke play in the match play format.
So explain that easiest for people was, in the old days, up until this year, I believe, if you tied at the U.S. Open, you played a match on Monday, stroke play.
Right.
So that means one guy could have shot -9, the other guy shot -6. So different than what you see in match play where it's hole by hole.
Right.
That's what you're talking about. And I agree 100% with you that we keep it to that because essentially the better player should be able to come out in a match play because he's not going to make a double or a triple where the other guy might.
That's the point.
But it's strokes instead. So your point was, which was very good, was the fact that guys are used to playing stroke play all year except that one event. They're going to say, oh, I'm not a great match play. It was unfair that I had to play that format. But if they can play stroke play, but in a match like every other playoff in the world, that should solve all the problems about saying, oh, well, this guy's got a 2-stroke lead and a 3-stroke lead over this guy. I love it. And then the final day is the two best players are playing each other, which is what playoffs are supposed to be.
And you can even have your consolation match would still be important because it's for $3 million. That's what third place is. So you have a good consolation match, a good finals, but stroke play. So the fact that you can't get down 5 holes, and we know most of those matches are over. You can dream that one guy comes back. But in stroke play, 5 strokes going in the back 9 or something is a double and a birdie away from being 2. And I just like that potential. I also like the fact they can't say they don't play stroke play. They don't play this format all year long.
Yeah.
The format might be a little different, but the golf itself would be the same in stroke play. And the best players are better at stroke play. That's why they're the best players. So there could be no complaints that way. It just eliminates these interesting starts. It gives you one-on-one. It gives you a match.
And the guy in the league
would
would get the benefit of playing 1 versus 30, which is the benefit they get in the playoffs too. If you're the number 1 team in the playoffs, you play number 16 or number 8 conference finals, whatever. But the top guy gets to play the bottom guy to start with. That would be the same thing in this event. So that's what you've gained.
Well, or
you
like we
gained
said,
that by winning. By being the guy at the top.
Yeah,
So Thomas would play our guy, Corey Connors, in the first match, let's say. He should win that match. That's why he's number 1 and he's number 30. Or tied for 26, whatever. But so that's what we're talking about in this kind of format we think would be a better way to go.
Well, even something as the top guys get a bye, and then the bottom guys play out, and then they seed it that way.
Right.
But basically what we want to see, the reason why we like it is that's what playoffs are, but more importantly, I just think the one match for $15 million based on the success of Tiger and Phil could be so huge to the game of golf, and it would stop all the questions, all the worries, all the will it look right, whatever. I think it would be simple that way. You can even do the BMW Championship that way, although I don't want to see those guys go home that early, so I think you'd have to make it.
No, you're getting
the
too
finals.
complicated going back. It's got to be the finals.
Tour Championship, you could definitely do that. It's just something to think about. I think it'd be interesting. I think they'll win this year. I don't think after this year there'll be much more conversation. I think it's going to work out. Hopefully it does for the PGA Tour's sake, and we can move on from all these questions and just get started. I know Rory said he'd be interested in something like even par as the leader and last place is plus 10. So that way it doesn't look like minus 26 could be winning the Tour Championship. So we'll see though. I hope it goes well. I really do, because sports, I hate stuff other than the sport
Well, it's
itself.
going to have an asterisk against it because it's different than the way they've done it in the past. So it is all
yeah, but you
hard
gotta remember
to
when
do.
Tiger went back to back.
And
when Tiger went back to back, there was no top 5 if they won the tournament. So you gotta remember they've made change before.
Oh, they made plenty.
When Tiger won his back to back, it was simply points, and they didn't do these juggernaut points for the playoffs. they didn't do where the top 5, if anybody the top 5 won, they won the tournament. It was sheerly on the regular season and what he did in the playoffs. And Tiger, when he won both of his, by the way, never had any of these extra rules where a guy can win and win the FedEx Cup no matter what position he was in. So they've made change all the time. This one is always going to be interesting because it's the first time, but I hope it just goes well.
They're trying to find the right form.
I hope it's close on Sunday.
Yeah.
I hope it's close on Sunday, and one of the top guys win it, and all problems will be solved. I just think that after year one, if it can work out, it eliminates a lot of questions. It's like when you had video review. It's like when you add anything to any other sport. If it works out, you just move on eventually, and it's all good.
Yeah, but we're gonna go with what we think is better. We're gonna give you this suggestion to the golf world that we do match play like every other playoff in the world. Every other game is played. The top guy, the guys who get to the finals play against each other. Think that match play would be the way to go. I like Joey's idea of stroke play within that match play, so that we're talking about the same way they play golf all year. It's hole by hole. You can lose 2 on any hole. You can get an eagle and a guy gets a par. Yeah, you know that proves you're the best. Not going hole by hole where a guy could get an 8 and you get a 4 and you just lose a hole. That's it, right? Or you gain a hole. So I like that. That's our suggestion it would come to an incredible Sunday. $15 million on the line and 2 guys going after that. I think there would be a mega media scene, just like Tiger and Phil was. And that's what really, normally I would have been like you and I talked about this, said, oh, there's not a whole field on Sunday, no one's going to watch. Well, Tiger and Phil proved that to be wrong.
Well, I think,
so we know it can happen.
Also, we've talked about this between ourselves. It's top 30, guys. I mean, top 30. Yeah, I mean, even the match play earlier in the year, you get guys from Asia and Europe. No, these guys are PGA Tour members. They've made the top 30.
Yeah.
You know, they're great golfers. We went through the list. We wouldn't be too disappointed in any of these guys really being there. We also believe one of the top guys is going to get there. It's just the facts. But with stroke play, top guys should get there. $15 million on the line, head-to-head, a mano-a-mano. Some year you're going to get the 2 best players like a Brooks and Rory, and it will be a media fest. So we're looking for something substantial like that. That's what the FedEx Cup wants to build, is an iconic moment every time the season's over. We think something like that could be it.
So that's it. Well, that's where we are. Yeah. I mean, we can keep talking about it, but also we want to have a head-on-head match play format.
I just don't want Thomas to win by 8 this week. You know, if he starts at -10, which is the worst-case scenario for the PGA Tour, starts at -10 and shoots 8 on the first day.
Yeah.
It could look really bad.
He could be so many strokes ahead that the tournament's over.
It could look bad. It could look.
So we're gonna see. They've got their concept. We have our idea. That's what we wanted to get on and talk about the tournament coming up this week. We're now going to do our sports wagering, which is way more important to everybody else because we all love to make some money, and we're going to do that for you again this week. We're going to come back with our sports wagering show, and we'll look forward to doing that for you.
Enjoy the week.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be awesome.